Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Yuehai Xiao and I go by Mike. The day before yesterday, September 7, 2010, a pastor in Florida said that he planned to protest Islam through burning the Quran on September 11. I don't think that is a wise decision because what it does is to evoke hostility and resentment from the Islamic world. Quote, an eye for an eye, end quote, can never resolve any conflicts, but can only make it worse by turning it into a pernicious circle. The 9/11 event in 2001 per se was a result of conflict and hatred. Then the US fight back by sending troops to Afghanistan. But the terrorists are still planning something like suicide bombing here and there. Another example is the Rwanda genocide. The reason why one tribe wanted to eliminate the other was the fear of revenge. They thought that if they could kill them all, there would be no revenge. Well, even if they could eliminate the enemy tribe, new enemies from other tribes or the bordering areas might appear later. Furthermore, there were enemies among their own people. Nowadays, in some cases, family members like siblings, parent and child, husband and wife may fight against each other or even go to court and go to war. Violence can only lead to violence. That's not the ultimate solution to the problem. When I examine the ultimate cause of those conflicts and hatred, I thought it was our selfishness. It goes like this. Excessive selfishness leads to conflicts. Conflicts result in wars. And wars escalate to genocides or nuclear wars. And the consequence of a nuclear war would be the elimination of human race. Therefore, our biggest enemy is our selfishness, which might result in intolerance to differences, which in turn can cause conflicts and hatred. Before we can control our selfishness, I don't think we can escape from our enemies. Religious people worship God and make every effort to interpret the plans of God. However, many people fail to understand the true meaning of their religion. I thought God wanted us to enjoy our fellowship, not only with Him, but also with one another. If, for example, the Christians fight against the Muslims or the Buddhists, I thought maybe that wasn't the plan of God. Humans have the capacity to make decisions on their own, and God allows free will. In terms of our relationship with God, it is our choice and our decision to make. If you are ready, come to God. If not yet, take your time to explore your relationship with God. God will not impose that on us or force us to accept it, because as the Almighty God, He could have word miracles like boom and make everybody a Christian. I am not advocating that everyone should be unselfish, because that is not realistic. But we need to bring our selfishness under reasonable control. What we could do is to overcome our weaknesses and limitations as human beings. through God. One way of doing that is to keep in mind our fellowship with God and with one another. The other way to control our selfishness, as I thought, was to keep our mind open to exceptions, differences, and disagreements, so that we can be more tolerant to one another. Tolerance to differences is the key to world peace. President Obama won the Nobel Peace Prize, and lots of people didn't understand why, including himself. President Obama joked about that in May 2010. Quote, "This year I have experienced my share of disappointments. For example, I had my heart set on the Nobel Prize for physics," end quote, he said. My understanding was Obama was the first person with an African American background being elected President of the United States. That event helps promote people's tolerance to racial differences, not only in the United States, but also worldwide. With tolerance increasing, conflicts, hatred, and wars would hopefully be reduced. That is why President Obama's election contributes to peacemaking. In my opinion, the change of attitude and mindset will not happen in one day or finish in one day. But that change can begin with the first step on a new day and continues day by day. That change may not happen throughout the world in one night. But if the fire of thought is set in one spot, hopefully it will spread to other places, including different cities and countries. I hope the pastor in Florida can change his mind. Instead of burning the Quran, he can burn something else, such as some extra fats in his belly, or even some midnight oil. Thank you.